Yo, YouTube. Yo, okay, that was a little late start. It don't matter. Yo, YouTube, the future of Nagi Seicho and Blue Lock, all right? My boy Natsu dropped the video, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to your boy Natsu. I'm gonna tag him in the video or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I go to the dude for all my Blue Lock. I ain't gonna cap. Just my boy, for the Blue Lock shit, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? He be giving me the leaks, goddamn chapter reviews, you feel me? He really him. All right, y'all boys go check out Natsu though. You know what I'm saying? The future of Nagi Seitro and Blue Lock, y'all. All right, we finna get into this video. I don't know if it's like a, I don't know if it's a chapter review or not. I don't think it is, cause he ain't. It literally don't, it don't say chapter review. So you feel me? You finna get into this video. I want to know I want to know his thoughts.
From Blue Lock for good? Will Nagi come back to the story as a villain? And will he be participating in the U20 World Cup? Well, make sure to watch right to the end of the video to hear my thoughts on all of this. Alright, so as we all know, Nagi has been kicked out of Blue Lock, which came as a massive shock for most, as Nagi has consistently been a top 5 fan character.
My thing is, it's understandable why though. Like if you read Blue Lock or watch Blue Lock, you will understand why. Like Nagi, he's not creative. You know what I'm saying? That's literally why he got kicked out, because he's not creative. Like that's the main reason. Like that really what it all boils down to. Like people can go like into depth explanation about it, but it's just that he's not creative with his plays. Like he's not a playmaker. You know what I'm saying? He's not somebody that's going to try to go and get his own goal for himself. You know what I'm saying? He needs people to pass the ball to him, give him the ball so he can score the goal. You know what I'm saying? He always relied on people passing it to him. You know what I'm saying? He never tried to make a goal for himself. That's why, you know what I'm saying? He's butt. Like, let's be real. That's why he's butt. And that's why that's why he got kicked out. Like, he's not creative at all. You know what I'm saying? If he was a little bit more creative, like, bro, that the last play of his game, if he was a little bit more creative, and really thought about it and really, like, you know what I'm saying, like, okay, let me try to get my own goal and not pass it to old bro. You know what I'm saying? He would have been good. But my thing is, he got complacent. He got content. You know what I'm saying? He got content to where he was. You know what I'm saying? He had beat I think he beat goddamn who was it again? My glorious king Isagi, like one time, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? He said, I'm okay. That's all I needed. Right? He got content. He don't want to be the world's best, bro. He just wanted to be Isagi. You know what I'm saying? And that's not gonna take him far in Blue Lock. That was never gonna take him far in Blue Lock. You know what I'm saying? Because Blue Lock is all about your ego and evolving your ego so you can be the world's best. You want to be the world's best, you know what I'm saying? That's why everybody is at Blue Lock, to be the world's best, to win with their goal. You know what I'm saying? And Nagi, he's just not that. He's just not that person. Let's be honest.
Character. And I'll be honest, going into the U20 World Cup preparation without him feels a bit odd, which is why, as I
Nah,
previously
it's
mentioned, I will
understandable.
go over what I believe will happen with him. Let's start with the obvious question. Is Nagi out for good, or will he come back? Now
Not
for this,
don't get me wrong. Like he's definitely coming back. Like I'm be honest, he's gonna come back for the simple fact of like one for the story and two because it's like because first of all they kept on making him pop up. You know what I'm saying? Like if he wasn't coming back, like you know how back in season one, how they did like the little selection test to play like the World Five or whatever, and boom, like the first selection was like them like hitting goals and like you know what I'm saying, kicking goals and shit, whatever. Y'all seen how that nigga Kuan, I don't remember his name, long hair nigga who portrayed them, right? Y'all ain't see his ass. We ain't see his ass since. You know what I'm saying? We haven't seen that nigga since. All right. So if they want a nigga out, they would have got a nigga out. We haven't seen that nigga since. All right. So I'm just saying, like, if they wanted a nigga out, they could have got a nigga out, bro. And my thing is, how did Igaguri fucking pass and he didn't? But like, you know, that's his or her, like, whatever.
I'm quite conflicted, but let me explain. When chapter 302 came out, and we got to follow a regular day for Nagi, and how he later in the chapter realized just how much he misses Blue Lock, he even broke down thinking about how miserable he was, and was mad at himself that he couldn't just have tried a bit harder. Anyway, what I want to point out with all of this is that even though this was a brutal chapter, and the emotions were extremely heavy,
Nah, that's your fault, twin. Like, it's your fault because you ain't tried, nigga. Like, bro, that's your fault. Why is niggas crying over it? Like, bro, come on, bro. Like, for real, bro. Like, if we gonna let this nigga back in because of sympathy, we should let everybody back in because of sympathy then, nigga. What? Like, what are we talking about, bro? Like, gang, they were good. There was players Whereas like, oh damn, like he could have been good as hell. You know what I'm saying? If he would have woo the woo, right? Like my thing is, bro, why like you feel me? Like come on, bro. Like there's no reason for that, bro. Like there's no like you feel me? Like come on, bro. Dead ass. Like, we gotta really lock
I
in,
do
bro.
think that if Nagi wasn't going to make a return, then this would have been the perfect send-off for him,
Let me speed this
as we
shit up.
pretty much have it all. We have him realizing how much he misses Blue Lock, but also coming to terms that he can't go back due to his lack of ambition. Like I said, after
Exactly.
chapter 302, I was sold that he was out. However, when chapter 303 rolled around, everything changed. Because in the last panel of chapter 303, we could see Nagi, and there's nothing particularly important about this panel. Nagi is simply sitting at an arcade playing games looking miserable. However, if Nagi truly was done, then this panel would be stupid to put in, as it has no meaning. As they are continuing to show Nagi after his breakdown for no apparent reason, I strongly believe that he will come back. We have seen some amazing twists and turns in Blue Lock, which is why I strongly believe that a meaningless panel wouldn't run with the author. Which leads me to my next point. Will Nagi make his return in the U20 World Cup? Firstly, let's go over which possibilities there even are for that to happen. Firstly, what are the chances of him playing for Japan in Blue Lock? Well, they are extremely low.
I'm about to say zero, gang. No bullshit, zero. I can see him like going to a different team. You know what I'm saying? Like going to a different, like feel me, different team and playing for them. Definitely. But for Blue Lock, no. I don't think he's not coming back to Blue Lock. I'll be honest. I don't think he's gonna come back to Blue Lock, bro. Like actually. Like you feel me? I feel like another team is gonna pick him up and then they're gonna help him become that playmaker that he should have been. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna help him become the playmaker that he always should have been. You know what I'm saying? And get him out that fucking lazy ass fucking shit he was in, bro. Dead ass.
Low, as Ego stated that outside of the selected 23 players, the other ones are just not needed in Blue Lock anymore, for
Okay,
Japan and Blue Lock. Well, they are extremely low, as Ego stated that outside of the selected 23 players, the other ones are just not needed in Blue Lock anymore. Now I do suspect that Sei is an exception to this rule, and that he will play for Japan, but that's a topic for another time.
Hell
Also,
nah.
I've seen a lot of people speculating about what would happen if one of the 23 players selected were to get injured or sick or something in that sense, like, for example, Chigiri breaking his leg, Yukimiya losing his vision, or, I don't know, Kiora just twisting his ankle or something random like that. Would Nagi then get the opportunity as he was placed 24th?
Hell no.
Well, I don't think so, but
Bro, if they do that, that is so like how should I put it? Like that's such a Mickey way of putting him back in. Like you know what I'm saying? That's such a Mickey way of putting him back in. Of somebody just like getting injured or some shit, that's such a Mickey ass way of putting him back in, bro. I'm sorry. To me, that's just such a Mickey way, bro. Like that's such a cheap way to put him back in the game, bro. That shit's so weird. Like nigga, what? Cause cause somebody got injured. Oh fuck. Damn. Now we gotta go find a replace. No, nigga. Do you really need 20, like all 23? Like you need all 23. Nigga, ain't it like a 11 on 11, nigga? Like, do you really need all 23 gang? Like, realistically? You just need backups. You feel me? You just need like extra players. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got your starting 11, and then you got your backups. Like, you feel me? Like, come on, bro.
let me explain. So there are 11 players playing in a regular football match, and then 7 players sitting on the bench. The
Exactly.
players on the field and bench come out to 18 players. Now you may ask why Ego chose 23 players then. Well, that's what you normally do for national football events, just to be sure if someone gets sick or injured, which means that there are already 5 players who could act and switch in if someone gets injured or sick. So there's absolutely no need for a 24th player, which is why I don't see Nagi playing for Japan. Hopefully, it isn't too confusing so far.
Exactly.
Alright, it feels like I came onto a...
And literally, if somebody, it's literally my nigga, if somebody get fucking like sick or some shit, twin, it's like gang. You got extra players. Like, there's no reason to put this nigga back on, bro. Deadass.
Bit of a sidetrack, so let's get back.
Got 23
Now, what's the
niggas.
possibility for Nagi playing for another country? Well, I would say that it's actually higher than him playing for Japan for 2 simple reasons. Firstly, his parents travel a hell of a lot, and this is a stretch, but Nagi could have a double citizen in some country, like just for example, England. Now, if you have a double citizenship, and if we just say that Nagi has one for England but also Japan, then he could choose which country he would like to represent in the World Cup, and he could very well choose England over Japan. However, this theory falls flat real quick, as firstly the whole double citizenship thing is a stretch, but then he must also be good enough to qualify for the other country's team. And since a lot of the countries are stronger than Blue Lock, and multiple countries have new generation World 11 players, I'm not even sure if Nagi would fit into the majority of the countries. Maybe he would fit into one of the lower level.
I don't think he could fit into none of them. Honestly, bro, because Nagi, bro, don't get me wrong. He's a genius among geniuses, twin. He's probably the greatest genius in Blue Lock. He's probably the greatest genius in fucking Blue Lock ever, bro. That ass. He's just not creative, bro. And they're going to see that, gang. Like the other teams are going to see that. They're going to see that he's not creative with his plays. They're going to see that, yeah, he's a genius. He's good. But he's just not a playmaker, gang. That's what they're gonna see. They're gonna see he's not a playmaker, and they're gonna be like, oh well, why would he want this guy that's not like he's not like you feel me? He's not a playmaker. Like what the fuck? Like you know what I'm saying? He's just a good player. Like he's just a genius. That's it. Like you know what I'm saying? Like they want a playmaker that can score goals, bro. He's just a dude that can score goals. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that makes sense.
Countries, but that's it. Does that mean that the whole playing for another country is over? Well, not really. The way I could see that theory still working is if Nagi has impressed a very influential man enough. Now I'm talking
Right.
about Ray Dark, who, once again, is just a massive stretch, as we pretty much know nothing about that man, other than that he is the president of PIFA, and that he once helped Kaiser and got him into the Bastard Munchen Academy. Now if Nagi has made himself interesting enough throughout the Neo-Egoist League, then maybe Ray Dark could pull some strings behind the scenes and get him back into the story by him playing for another country. Now personally, I don't hate this theory. I feel like it would be cool for Nagi to randomly pull up with some other country in the U20 World Cup, because that would leave the whole Blue Lock squad just in pure awe. Just imagine Isagi, Ryo, and everyone watching Nagi walk out with Germany. Like, that would be such a cool plot twist, and even when thinking about how insanely cool that would be, I feel like that won't happen, because I feel like that would be too soon. Like we saw Nagi in an arcade a total of 47 days before the U20 World Cup, and here he looks completely lifeless, and he looks tired, just with life. And you mean that he has less than 50 days to totally pull a switch and get out of his gloomy and depressing mood, to then make himself worthy of playing in another U20 squad outside of Japan? Now I love Nagi, and even though he said that he wanted back, there's no way that he has that much motivation to do all of that just to not even be able to play with his friends, but instead with some other randoms. So with that said, I do think that there's a chance for him to appear in the U20 World Cup, but then the author has to cook up some really good explanation for it, and honestly, I wouldn't hate it. However,
that's what I'm saying. He gotta really cook some shit up, cause he can't just like put it back in the story and it's some Mickey ass way of him putting back in the story. Nah, again, he gotta really cook up with that shit, bro. Because if it's a bullshit ass fucking explanation of why he's back in, niggas are not gonna fuck with it. And at that point, cause look, bro, when niggas was like, damn, Nagi's not in, they like, fuck, that's overly crazy. Like, damn, Nagi not in that bit, it's overly crazy. Like, damn, you feel me? A random got in that bit, twin. It's like, you feel me? You gonna be like, damn, bro, Nagi not in that bit. It's crazy. Come on, bro. But you know what I'm saying. But then if you fucking put him back in here with a bullshit explanation, like, all right, nah, fuck that. Just get him out of here. Leave. Like, get that nigga out of here.
I do feel like giving Nagi more time would be more beneficial to his character. However, that also goes both ways.
Like,
let's be honest, we can assume that the U20 World Cup will be a long arc, like the Neo-Egoist League, which was like 150 chapters, and that was only 4 matches basically. Now, obviously, the length of each match in the U20 match will hopefully be decreased a bit. However, I still think that it's safe to assume that the U20 World Cup will be at least like 80 chapters, which is a real lowball. Anyway, what I want to get out of this is that the longer the people get to wait for Nagi's comeback, it can be a dangerous coin. On one of the hands, the longer you wait for something, the more you get excited about it, and the more you build up hype about it. But at the same time, I feel like most people will start to forget about him when there's so much more happening. And not to mention that if the opposite happens, and that his comeback is still extremely hyped up, then the hype for it will be massive. And often when that's the case, then the expectations will be massive. And most of the times, things doesn't live up to the hype. You know, for example, when you have been waiting months for a game to drop, like you are super excited about it and think about it lots. However, the more you wait, the more you subconsciously expected it to be perfect. And most of the times it just isn't, which could be said for Kunigami. We had a vague idea that he would come back, however, before we could see that we had the whole third selection and the U20 match, which left us expecting too much, and that made Kunigami's reintroduction all flat. And also a bunch of more things, which I won't talk about today. Anyway, once again, I feel like we got a bit sidetracked, so let's get back to the main man, Nagi. So then, what do I think will happen to Nagi? And will he end up becoming evil? What I believe will happen to Nagi is that he is going to continue to be this depressed guy under the whole U20 arc. He will watch his previous teammates play matches and try their hardest together. Meanwhile, he himself is just in his room spectating. However, when the U20 World Cup arc is over and the players get their final offers from the Neo-Egoist League all sorted out, then I believe that he will have built up such a lust to get back into the game that he will jump at the opportunity as fast as he can. He will then train with that team, which I believe will most likely be Manshine City. However, it's difficult to say, as we don't know who they bid on. Here, Nagi will train like a wild beast. He will have the memories of himself watching his teammates and the Blue Lock players competing in the U20 World Cup arc in the back of his mind the whole time, only being able to think about that and how much it hurt to not be with them. And then, he will never not train enough any longer. Like he said that he wished that he hadn't in chapter 302. But what comes next? Well, I believe that Blue Lock will have some sort of club arc after that, and there he will get reintroduced. If, for example, Isagi and him are in the same league, or if they are in some sort of cup final against each other, here Nagi will show just what he has learned from his club, and how much he has improved. Or it might not be against Isagi that he would make his reintroduction against, but honestly, that doesn't really matter too much. Anyway, that's what I think would be the best opportunity for him to return. Now lastly, let's try and tackle how I believe he will be when he eventually comes back into the story. Now here, I'm not too sure at all. I would like for Nagi to take up this anti-hero or antagonist persona, and become more like Kaiser in the beginning of the Neo-Egoist League, like a rival.
I wouldn't want him to become like that, honestly. I would want him to me personally, I would want, if Nagi were to come back to the story, I would want him to be like, I say how that shit, like, same personality, but like you can see it, like you can see that like he has that fire now. Like he has the fire to, you know what I'm saying, get better and become the world's best, you know what I'm saying? Like I want him to have that fire, gang. I want him to have that fire, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? Like I want him to come back and have that fire, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want him to come back and it's on some Mickey shit. It's like, oh, goddamn, like you know what I'm saying, on some Mickey shit, or like he became, or he becomes Kaiser or some shit. Like I don't want him to become no Kaiser. You know what I'm saying? Cause fuck Kaiser, honestly. And anybody that's a dick rider Kaiser, fuck you. I don't want him to become no Kaiser though. Like I want to keep the same personality, but you can see that he has that hunger now. Like he got that hunger that Isagi has. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want. You feel me?
But not in the sense like a friendly rival.
Because everybody has that hunger, bro. Has that goddamn hunger, bro. Deadass. Everybody got that hunger.
Bachira or Chigiri, but more like a cold-hearted one who wishes on Isagi's downfall. However, making Nagi more edgy, if you would like to call it that, could also have its downsides as they did that with Kunigami. But he fell a bit short in my opinion. However, I also just don't want Nagi to be like all unhappy when he returns, because I don't think that he can be like that after suffering all of this time alone.
I really like how they did Kunigami, bro. I feel like that's like That's like I feel like that's peak right there, peak storytelling. I feel like because you know what I'm saying, he fucking lost and got the fuck out of there, and then he came back crazy as hell, like because you know what I'm saying, he did all that experimental shit and all that other stuff. I feel like that's top character development right there. You know what I'm saying? Cause now he's just focused on becoming the best. You feel me? Now he's really just focused on becoming the best. Like, I just love that, bro. I love when somebody's just focused on becoming the best, bro. That's it.
Seeing his friends
Leave it to
playing
that.
without him must have left him feeling so alone and sad. So him being this
Which
calm guy
why can I not hear this shit? Why does it do this?
that he can be like that after suffering all of this time alone. Seeing his friends playing without him must have left him feeling so alone and sad. So him being this calm guy, which he is now, wouldn't really work if you ask me. I do feel like he will take back his regular personality when the real World Cup happens. However, when he first returns, I want him to be different, and I want to see that he's really changed. However, that's just what I
Yeah.
think, and you might call me weird for that. But anyway, please let me know how you would like Nagi to come back, and also how you think that he will make his return, if you agree with something I said,
I
or if you
hope
have
he
your own theory.
changed too,
Anyway,
bro.
if you like Blue Lock and videos like this, then I would highly
hope he
suggest you
changed
subscribe to
too,
this channel.
bro.
And while you are at it,
Good W fucking video fucking Natsu, bro. W video to Natsu, bro. He's one of the goats, bro. When it comes to when it comes to Blue Lock reviews and you know what I'm saying, talking about Blue Lock, he's a fucking goat, bro. Shout out to that boy Natsu, man. If y'all enjoyed this video, make sure y'all hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, you know what I'm saying? If y'all fuck with it, talk to me if y'all fuck with it, bro, on some shit, bro. For real, for real. I'm gonna catch y'all boys later, though. You know what I'm saying? We out of here.